YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre tutorials and reviews, back in here with one more video. Guys, you already know what time it is. It's time to get active. You know that small, somewhat popular dating app called Bumble? I'm being facetious when I say that. It's immensely popular. They actually have a YouTube channel, and they uploaded a video not too long ago entitled "How to Define Commitment with Marriage on the Decline," in which they go over 4 or 5 different women that talk through their decision not to become married, which I find immensely interesting. So let's go down in there. Because listen, at the end of the day, I think that there's those that say that they don't want to get married after a while. And a lot of that is really, they know they won't get picked, right? Or their odds of getting picked are much lower. So they just change their life goal. You know what I'm saying? So, but it'll be interesting to break down what we see happening here. All right. Without further ado,
I'm not against being in a committed long-term relationship, but 32. I just don't feel the need to be married.
Okay. I'm single and I don't think I really want to get married.
Now I am with my boyfriend. We have been together for almost 3 years and no marriage on the horizon. I am a single mom and I'm not really sure I want to get married.
I'm Mona Chalabi and this is Full Disclosure from Bumble. Marriage in the US has hit a historic low.
Yep.
What can that huge change be attributed to?
Men are waking up. Waking up. I got this nice mic now. I can sing into it. You know what I mean? Waking up. Listen, at the end of the day, it's a tribute to a lot. Before they get into their whatever it is that they're gonna say, because listen, at the end of the day, anytime you look at any type of video like this on any type of content, right? Like you got to understand, well, what is the motivation? Okay. And what do we learn so far? We got 4 women. All of them are 32 and above. We got a single mother. We got another young lady in there. If I was to guess, I don't even think that she was heterosexual. So we have 4 different genotypes, right? Of different ages, right? So here's the thing. How do you get older people to use your application? Well, you come up with a video with women, not men, right? You come out with a video with women talking about, well, why they don't want to get married and probably why they want to date into perpetuity. Why? Because it's a dating app. But fact of the matter is, it's not only, right, if we look at the reason why it's on a decline of men not wanting to get down on bended knee, I think a large component of it has to do with the understanding of the information, the data, the statistics that we go over on this channel, looking at the generation above and seeing what their parents went through and saying, eh. And then also, there's so much other things that we can do with our time, right? There's so many other things, right? Like, 50 years ago, there wasn't a PlayStation 5. There wasn't a PlayStation. There was a lot more incentive to sit down and make your shit work for the marriage. Because, what were you doing back in the 60s? Playing hopscotch and cards and shit like that? Like, what did they do for fun back there? No one knows, okay? So when you have all of these other different things that are taking our attention and shit like that, it's right, like, and it's like, well, do I want to go out on this date tonight to meet this new person to probably waste this money, or do I want to sit back in here and have a Call of Duty Warzone live stream with my bestest of buds? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more options out there is what I'm trying to say, but this video is about Bumble, so let's get into them.
There are plenty of upsides to marriage, like health insurance benefits, tax deductions, and legal protections.
Whoop-de-doop. So they're not even going to get into the reason that dudes are not selecting it, of course, because that's not the audience. They're talking to women here. So let's see how they're trying to get women to continue dating, to ride the carousel round and round into perpetuity. Let's go.
of us are starting to move away from a more traditional definition of marriage, while others will still see it as a formal and bonding commitment, especially if their religion celebrates marriage as exactly that. We're still living in a society where saying we have been married for 50 years is framed as a success.
That is an incredible amount of hair. I just wanted to call that out. And notice the fancy accent as well. There's studies to show that different accents that are used to show superiority. So guys, I'm giving you like insight to like the marketing or what the advertisers are doing behind this, right? So it's to say, give them a fantastic accent, right? And it's about her natural accent, but I'm saying the casting director probably selected her also because of her accent, and it's a superiority thing. It's more of a guiding light. Okay, because if you are lost, you may be looking for a guiding light. And if it comes from a voice that is viewed as more superior, you might be more inclined to believe it. Okay, let's just keep going.
And maybe it is, but if it is the reverse of that, so saying that you've never been married is kind of framed as a failure, and that doesn't seem okay. If marriage isn't the end all be all, how else can we commit to one another?
I don't think I ever had like an aha moment. My parents are married, they're still together. I just don't want that for myself. But I think whether you want to get married or not, you should disclose pretty early on to someone. I know things can change in a relationship, but I think if you have a very strong opinion on it, then it is definitely something you should make people aware of.
I think it's very important to be transparent. I would hope that someone would be that transparent with me.
Those conversations, those really big important conversations have to happen like maybe even before you meet each other, because what's the point if somebody really wants something that you really don't want? Sure. You're just gonna hurt yourself by meeting somebody that could potentially be great but isn't, on the same path.
I think it can sometimes be scary if someone that you care about tells you that they just do not believe in marriage. It doesn't mean that they're not committed to you necessarily.
Yeah. It's gonna keep on going up and up and up.
I've been queer for a long time. My dad said, you can be queer. Just by 25, you get some kids. And I'm like, at 25, we're pretty much trying to figure out how to stay alive to 25. So, our mindset is of survival in the world. So marriage is...
She's a free spirit. I'll tell you guys something, the free spirits absolutely drive me insane. The belief people, I believe that this will happen, but I'm not going to put any actions into what I'm doing right now in order to help get on this belief path. As a logic driven person, drives me absolutely insane. Because I think anything that you want, you just can't believe in. You got to put in the work and not free spirit your way into shit, but have a clear, concise goals and roadmap and plan to get to an end. Okay, just wanted to call that out because I sense a free spirit.
At the bottom.
I have no urge to get married. I've done it. I've done the reception, the ceremony. I've gone through the paces, and it's really easy to get caught up into feeling that you need something that you don't actually really need if you sit down and kind of have a conversation with yourself and figure out what it is that you really want. My partner now, there's no doubt in my mind that we will be together forever, and I don't doubt my relationship. We talk about growing old together.
Here's the thing, and let me touch on this as well. I think like at the end of the day, when we talk about, the purpose of actually becoming married and getting married, right? And I think through, well, what really changes, especially for men, right? When you know that there's so much downside, potentially, right? Of you jumping over the broom, there's so much potential downside. What really is the difference, right? Of being in a long-term loving relationship versus being married. I think that's why they also touched on religion in the beginning, to say that a large component is due to religious beliefs. And I get it. Like at the end of the day, if that's what you believe in, right? If that's what you believe in and you want to aspire to that because that has to do with your belief system, then more power to you. But if that's not what you believe in, you just want to get married to get married. The thing is like dudes like me are scared of meeting those that will switch up after or are meeting or trying to get married for the wedding and not for the lifelong things, right? That you're living with someone for the rest of your life. And you have to make sure that you are relatively like this throughout your life or shit will go astray. But I asked the question, and I'm gonna ask a question. Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. What really is the difference, right, between not being married and being married? Like, what added value do you get as a man? I've never, the amount of times I've asked this question on my channel, it has to be 50 plus times on this channel to 20 plus guests, and still I have not seen one benefit. But let's talk about it down in the description box. In the comment box down below. All right, let's get back in.
Expectations of commitment have changed over time. I think the dreams that I had growing up were very much so more on career and accomplishment.
I feel like if you really love someone, you don't need to have that contract to prove that you're in love with them and you want to spend your life with them.
I think a lot of us know that these kind of neat heterosexual romantic fairy tales don't exist, or maybe shouldn't even exist, and we're navigating that right now. Marriage and parenthood do not...
Hold on. Let's focus on this real quick. I didn't know that the generation before boomers was called silence. 81%. It's just, and this is irrespective of race, right? So marriage has been going down. You know what's so interesting about this? You look at numbers like this, and at the end of the day, there's a push, and women still want it to a degree, but they're pushing it off, and a lot of it can also be attributed to like media like this, is saying, yeah, go ahead, just live. And it's okay, because I'm not a person who's pushing marriage either, you understand? But when you take a look at numbers like this, irrespective of race, it's got to jump out to you as if, I wonder if the society at large, where we are at right now as a people, we're innovating in our society. Is it that certain things within the marriage contract have to be changed because we have rules, morals, and values that existed back in the silent generation phase, this one at the top, that don't either exist today or no longer respected, but we have the exact same marriage contract? Seems like to me there needs to be an innovation on the contract, right? As I've said this before, I think there needs to be something in between dating, relationship, and marriage. I call it a marriage ship. All right, make them sign a contract like a basketball contract. Ain't nothing guaranteed. All right, that incentivizes both you and me to be at our top optimal position to make sure at the end of that contract we want to continue to sign on that dotted line. But it gets confusing when kids are involved, okay? But this is super interesting. 44%. Crazy. Let's keep it moving.
Have to go hand in hand anymore, if ever they did. Increasing financial independence, changing legal rules that mean that you can adopt or get IVF on your own. All of these things mean that increasingly women are becoming parents alone. The number has quadrupled in the last 50 years.
But they'll never talk about the negatives of one parent households. They won't talk about this. I find this video uniquely fascinating because this is the example of what is fed to inflict information into the minds of young women, right? Which increases the opportunities of gallivanting, irrespective of the things intrinsic to them as people that will actually make them happy in order to sell a service. This is interesting. This is it. This is one example right here. Let's wrap this up.
Really exciting. There's so much opportunity. I mean, you can really create your own dating environment. You can define your rules on how you want to date and who you want to date. If you want to date, don't have to get married. You can do it whatever way you want.
I believe it's easier to have these conversations because we're making it easier to have these conversations with ourselves. Like, do we want to do this?
I know for some people it works amazingly. For me, it did not. I don't think it validates or invalidates a relationship. I don't think it makes you more or less serious about the person that you're with.
It's really about balance and making sure that that partnership is intact. Both parties are happy and both parties are committed, then that's a successful relationship.
There's still some discomfort about saying you're in your 40s and you've never been married, or you've been married 4 times and now you know you never want to be married. And this shouldn't be, because marriage is not necessarily the end goal of a date, of an app, or a long-term relationship.
All right, that's the end of the video. Shout out to Bumble. I thought it was a well put together video outside of whatever intentions that they were trying to do with the video. And I would say it could just also be trying to allow older women, right, that are getting to that age where they might be getting scared that they're not hitting this goal, some information to make them feel okay without hitting that end goal. But of course, as I said before, it's also to stay on the app and keep on swiping. You understand what I'm saying? But this was super interesting. I appreciate messages like this because it causes the society to think through what it is that they're doing, right? And how they are putting steps in place to get to their goals. But listen, at the end of the day, I think like you shouldn't just go wholly off of some of this content. I think you need a discussion with a mental health care provider, a therapist, someone that can help you understand who you are right now in life and where it is that you are really, truly trying to go. And they can help coach you to get there, right? They can help you expand your mind of wherever you're at right now to help say, where would you be at in the future that would make you whole and not angry and not bitter and not this and not that. But I think it's really important to put it all into perspective. All right, that's where I'll end this video today. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, I got a Patreon as well. Go down, link down in the description box down below. Come and holla at your boy. Fantastic benefits up there. All right. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.